Boom, boom, boom. Did you miss me? Good evening and welcome to the CM Kozemen Mystic Genie Istanbul Folklore Research Special. I don't know who's watching now, but if you're here, welcome to a fun couple of hours. Oh my God, they're already coming in. Hello, cream pie. Just get everybody, call everyone you know, and I'll be right back. Oh, hello, first time chatter, Whale Shirke. Hello, hello, hello. The walls have been breached, says Cream Pie, debased gnome's child. Hello, everybody. It's time to. Clam James says hello, and I'm really happy. We've established a core audience. You know, I pop open a stream in a weekday. Everybody keeps coming in. It's time to les out to Les Cafe. I just have to show this to you. And you just have to understand what I'm talking about. Oop. Okay. So, look, if you've been following this channel, you probably know I'm a huge fan of these knockoff brands of like food, coffee, chocolate, whatever you find in discount supermarkets. And today's special is Les Cafe Latte. I'm not being sponsored in any way or form by these companies, but this is just wonderful. Just this creamy, dreamy, soft piece of goodness. So good. Swirl Beast says hello. So I'm just gonna let this Les Cafe les it out and cook itself, and we can get ready and wait for everyone to check in. Please call your friends and everyone you know. We need more buddies in this house because today is going to be an exciting stream. I guarantee you that. Let's get it. Okay, we're going to dunk the Les Cafe. Are you ready? Look at it. Oh my God. I mean, I feel better looking at this already. Don't you just want more? Okay, I'll let this simmer. Let me stir it with my trusted paintbrush. And please invite your friends, come over. I know you kids are using all sorts of Discords or Reddits or whatever. So summon people. Let's get more buddies in the room. Because today it's actually going to be a kind of research and read-along stream. I got special content just for this stream. And we may do some art. So, you know, art is never out of the question. But it's mostly going to be a read-along book. So we need more people here to make this experiment work, basically. Okay, I'll be right back, everyone. Hello, cauliflower. Hello, I really missed you. I really missed streaming. Things are going well. Things are going well in the Kozemen world. Okay, I'll be right back. Just watch the Les Cafe dissolve. How many people in the stream so far? Let's clarify that. And we have some starter chocolates. Look, I eat a very healthy diet, but it's just probably my only vice. Oh, 15 people already. Nice. So probably my only vice is just having chocolate with coffee. Just dip it in there. I mean, this really gets my brain going. I feel slow if I don't get this. So, let's get to it. Just 1 second. Tim Tam Slam Turkish edition, says Ellie Brooks. Yes, unfortunately you can't really Tim Tam Slam this thing, the Eti Metro, the Ülker Metro, because it's just too gunky. It's a nougat bar, and if you suck it, it's not permeable. There are other things you can do a Tim Tam Slam with, and I'll tell you about it later. Okay. Cream Pie says, I love the bat-like post-human you posted earlier on your Twitter. Thank you. And yes, it's been a nice week. Let's get this show officially on the road. It's been 7 minutes. As soon as I finish this, we're good to go. And be prepared, because we're actually going to be doing live readings from an amazing book published in 1947, where we will encounter lots of strange demons and weird occult folk beliefs from Istanbul of the past, basically. And although the stream does say demons, there are a few demonic legends in there, but it's mostly weird folk tales and folk beliefs, which will like leave you puzzled or laughing or scared, or maybe all of them at the same time. But really, all right, let's go. Let's get going now. Let's get going, anneannem. Okay. Look. Gizemma says, Istanbulian Demon sounds nice. Whale Shirke says, congratulations on getting published. Yes. Well, I'm going to answer this in another bespoke YouTube video, but this week, my science fiction book, All Tomorrows, has officially been published in Thailand, and it's just great news. It feels lovely, and thanks once again to my Thai publishers for making this possible. I worked with a lot of publishers, and I mean, the publisher I worked with, what were they called? I'm very sorry. Just a second. Time Publishing in Thailand. They were really professional. They were really, when they were translating the book, they would email me for individual, like, what does this phrase mean? Do you think there's a mistake here? They were really attentive, and if you work at any length in the publishing industry, you will see that this kind of behavior is actually very rare. So that's nice. The book that was published was the old All Tomorrows, and I'll just can it for now because I'm going to do a bespoke video about this development. So yeah, let me check some messages. Oh, okay. One of the followers of this stream, I don't want to name names now, says they will send me coffee from their country when we do an art and mail trade. Okay, I'm game. Bring it on. I'll send snacks too, durable ones. Okay, so look, one of the great things about reading is that you can read books from cover to cover, and I always do this. Even when they're very weird or dry or strange books, I always make an effort to read stuff, and this is my library stamp for my own personal library. You can see that this book I started reading in the 18th of September 2023, and I finished reading it on the 11th of October 2023. I basically read these on a bus ride and stuff, and I actually bookmarked this book for use in another project. It's secret, but I think it won't be breaching if I share some of my cool discoveries here with you, because this book, the book by Ahmet Halit Bayru, called Istanbul Folklore, the Folklore of Istanbul, published in 1947. Maybe you can't see very clearly, but let's take care of that. Published in 1947. It's a really nice book, and actually a very old vintage book, and it's kind of delicate too. As you can see, it's a bit worn down, but yeah, when I get books I always make a library stamp on them. So now we will start reading strange folkloric beliefs from a bygone Istanbul. But before beginning, I have my wishes and comments from you. I know most of you, like 15, 16, how many of you? You have all been followers of this channel, so you probably donate and you also support this channel. But I'm going to reiterate, please consider supporting me on Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon. Both Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon have a world of content that you don't get to see anywhere else. I don't like putting stuff behind paywalls, but it's what you need to do to hustle to stay alive in this day and age. And also consider getting merchandise from my merch store. Now you can find that on my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, please, if you're interested in the folklore of Istanbul, look, I'm having coffee here and talking with you out of the goodness of my heart. Please consider supporting me. Really, every penny makes a difference. If you've already supported me, buy me another coffee too. I really value it. So this is basically a historic book about Istanbul's history. And it starts with a brief history of Istanbul, which we won't go too deeply into. And then it says Folklore da Istanbul, which means Istanbul in folklore. And then it starts reading and listing all these strange beliefs and poems and things like songs and traditional sayings and stuff. So right off the bat, it starts with a history of the city and goes into all sorts of weird lists, magic spells. And I read this book last year and I bookmarked it all over the place. So now we're just going to follow the bookmarks and I'm going to tell you the weird stuff. At any point, please feel free to comment or ask further questions, because I want this to be like a kind of interactive lesson, I teach you, you ask me, I teach you, you teach me. Something like that. So, this is about the conquest of Istanbul by Mehmed the Conqueror. Okay, so right off the bat, we have this strange creature, okay? We have the personification of the lust and personal desires of the Ottoman Sultan Bayezit II. So this guy was the son of the guy who conquered Constantinople and turned it into Istanbul. And there are many stories about these Ottoman sultans, like their virtues are always exalted, and they're like stories of Roman emperors, They're always portrayed as virtuous rulers or like stern but rightful managers of the city and the empire. And so this one particular Sultan, Bayezid II, was so righteous and basically he was such a good ruler that until 7 years before his death, he never even touched meat. He didn't even eat meat. He was a vegetarian. He always struggled with his own will and his own desires, and he tried to tame them. Like when you tame your desires, you realize you can also tame an animal. So one day before his death, he ordered some sort of a delicious meat dish, and he started speaking to his own sense of desire, and he says, "Oh desire, here is the feast of meat, and come out if you can." This is the Ottoman Sultan. Like, he has this big meat dish brought over, and he says, "Oh my desire, why did you place so much desire in me, God? Come out." And suddenly, he starts convulsing. And then, something comes out. Oh my God. Out of the Sultan's mouth comes a creature that looks like a weasel and a dog with two blind eyes. And it was struggling about like a rabid dog. So imagine like an elongated carnivore with blind eyes coming out of the Sultan's mouth. And this thing ran, and like a mad dog, it drank the dripping juice from this amazing meat dish the Sultan had brought over. And then, after it was finished, like a bad sense of lust and desire, it wanted to crawl back into Bayezid's mouth. But Bayezid was like, patch! It smacks it aside, and he calls his soldiers, and smack, they like shatter it with their swords. And then it's a scene, everybody's kind of silent. What the hell just happened here, Sultan Bayezid? And then the Shaykhul Islam comes along. He's like the religious minister. And he's like Ash in the Alien movies, the android guy. He looks at it, the perfect organism. No, he doesn't say that. He says, the perfect human must always struggle with this sense of desire. The sense of desire is an extension of the human body. You need to wrap it in cloth, figuratively, and bury it. And so, as the weasel creature was considered an extension of the Sultan's body, it was given a proper burial. It was washed as it was in the Muslim custom. It was wrapped up in funerary linens. And then there was even a prayer session, where this creature that had come out of the Sultan's mouth, this blind dog weasel creature, alien thing, was washed and buried in a grave somewhere in Istanbul. So this is why Sultan Bayezid was known as the only Ottoman Sultan who had two funerals. He died fucking twice. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, just, we're in page 19 of this book. God damn. Ahmet Halit Bayrı, Istanbul Folklore. Ellie Brooks says, I can't believe Bayezid made a meat arousal ectoplasm weasel. Yeah, I agree. And of course, we're just going to have to draw this now. I don't think we can get through the whole book in one night. But yeah, let's get to work. And let's draw the weasel-like extension of Sultan Bayezid's will. And maybe something like this lives inside all of us. And one of my quests in Istanbul is actually to locate and find the grave where this creature was buried. But of course, no such luck. No such luck, I'm afraid. So we're just drawing the blind eyes, the weasel-like ears, the nose, the salivating mouth. Gizemma says, seeing Bayezid's desire weasel is a hell of a thing to see for a calm night, but I mean, yeah, well, welcome in. And in Turkey, many people learn about Ottoman history, but you really need to like actually go down and read books like this to like really find out these delicious stories. Because not just in Turkey, but every country in the world has these like incredible tales and folklore like this. And if you're subscribing or if you're just listening from a different part of the world, and if you know similar stories, please share them with me in the YouTube comments or in the stream chat right now. So yeah, this is the Sultan's first time chatter. Less irritating says hello. Okay. Well, we're drawing. This is Sultan Bayezid depicted figuratively, and this is the blind weasel alien sense of desire coming out of his body, attracted to the delicious meat dish. As an artist, you also see like the value of research in just making you a more creative and interesting person. Oh God, we got some comments. Jipaman says, I rejoined your Patreon after many months. All these commissions look absolutely amazing. Thank you. Yes, if you follow me on patreon.com, you can see many artworks that I don't post anywhere else, including the nice new commissions that I've been doing for, well, people who pay for them. These commissions really get me going in these tough times. So thank you so much. Less irritating says, hello, first time chatter. Less irritating also says, I waited for you to go online on Sunday, but you didn't show up. I'm really sorry. I forgot to remove that thing from my schedule. My mistake. I guess you were following the elections in Turkey. Yes, last Sunday, which was the 31st of March or 1st of April, Turkey had local elections, and I'm not going to get very political, but the results were incredibly good. None of us expected something like this, and everybody is in a good mood because of these things. So yeah, here you have the demon gerbil or whatever of Sultan Bayezid. As always, we are signing. I am just saying Bayezit's will, grave, unknown. By the way, if you want to buy any of the drawings I make in these sessions, please let me know. Go to cmkozeman.com and go to the contact tab and just let me know what you want. I can ship this exact thing to you. So there. Let me do the big screen so I can show this to you. Nice, huh? Like, imagine going around town and you discover this thing. Incredible. Jipa Man says, this drawing is me when I don't brush my teeth. Well, always brush your teeth. I'm nearly 40 years old, never had a filling, never had anything, never had a rotten tooth. Teeth are nice. Ellie Brooks says, absolutely loving this demonology drawing session. Yeah, thank you. All right, let's get this back down. Okay, here we have some more commissioned paintings and drawings. Enjoy the sneak preview. Yeah. Let's go back to our book. You know, this was just 19 pages in and already some incredible abomination like that. What do you think so far? Nature Lover says, I never get Twitch notifications, the fuck? Well, I don't know, look, Twitch is a new platform for me too. Sometimes I make mistakes. I mean, I forgot to remove the scheduled stream last Sunday and one of you was waiting needlessly, so sorry about that. Sorry about it. Okay, let's go back to the Folklore of Istanbul. Less Irritating says, yeah, the results were awesome. No one saw it coming, right? Let's not get political here. Oh, Less Irritating is talking about the Turkish local elections. Another awesome news for me, says Less Irritating, that they started drawing again after 10 years. Yes. Look, one of the messages I always try to convey people with this channel, make real artifacts, make real drawings, you know. You need this. Because, look, we're entering an age of AI, okay? Everybody's going to be able to generate everything, but in a fucking screen. You need to be able to create physical artifacts. And the best way to do that is to be an actual artist who works with real stuff. You can still do digital, but like with, I mean, look, you produce something like this with your hands. There's almost a Marxist sense of joy to be had from being able to do that. So yeah. Jipa Man says, I wish this book was available online and in English. No such luck. Look, there's hundreds of books like this in Turkish, but in also basically in any other country that's not English speaking. There are hundreds of books like that which contain delicious, juicy stuff that you just never get to see unless you live there. And as a cultural exporter, one of my duties is to share this with you. Gizemma says, I have to find this book in a second-hand bookstore, but I don't think I can, I guess. If you are Turkish and if you go to nadirkitap.com, it's this thing, nadirkitap.com, and just go look for Istanbul Folklore, maybe you can find it. Nadir freaking Kitap. Less irritating says, I wanted to thank you in person because the only reason I started drawing again is because I watched you. It feels so relaxing. Okay, I'm relaxed too. Thank you. Okay, let's go. More myths. More myths. So this book is also arranged in a sort of like completely scrapbook kind of way. So right after these stories of Ottoman sultans, we got this section of famous neighborhoods and districts. And they got many strange names. And like the names are okay, strange. Mostly they're named after people. In the district of Fatih, you have names like Keçeci Karabaş, Karabaş the fabric maker, Melek Hatun, which means angel lady. But the most famous, and the reason I bookmarked this thing, is this thing. So just come here. There's a name. So there's a district in the Fatih. There's a little neighborhood in the Fatih district. And it's named, unbelievable, Keçi Hatun. Just drink it in. Keçi Hatun, which means goat lady. I kid you not. Goat lady. What a goated name. And it's also a very old and obscure name. Like some names here, like Merkez Efendi, these places still exist. You know, you could go there and like go visit stuff and like people live there. So these are old names, but most of them are pretty extant. But goat lady has not come down to our present day. And then there's a chapter about extreme winter, earthquakes, and great fires. And let's see. During the days of Byzantium, in the years 401, 739, 753, 755, 763, 928, and 1222, there were extreme events of winter in Byzantium. All these things that happened in the 700s looks like a kind of mini ice age, maybe, I don't know. After the Turkish conquest, in the year 1620, it was snow in Istanbul for 16 straight days. The Bosphorus froze, so people could walk between Galata and, well, basically people in Istanbul, if you don't know, Istanbul has a sea going through it and also a big peninsula. So all of those areas froze and people could just walk over the sea. Ships were trapped and people had to like walk to the ships and get the grain from the frozen ships. And because of this, grain prices shot up and everybody was sad and down. So this is just one of those cases. I have memories of other cold winters in Istanbul, and I think this is a case where I could tell you a more recent myth from Istanbul. Last year I met an old guy working at an art supply shop, and turns out in the 1980s, this guy was operating a VHS rental space, you know, like Blockbuster but family owned, like a mom and pop business. So during 1987, there was a horrible, very, very cold winter. There was a cold front coming in from Yugoslavia, and it was like a mini ice age. You know, cars were frozen in the streets, the roads were blocked for days on end, and it was just, you know, a very, very, very snowy day. Feels very cozy, actually. And the guy said, like, I always ask people, like, what was the strangest moment in your career? And he said, yeah, it's that crazy winter in 1987 because the cold front was being tracked, people still had TV and everything. So people were coming in the snowy weather and just getting just renting VHS tapes by the bucket. He said, I had a customer who came in with buckets, and he said, just fill these 2 buckets with whatever VHS tapes you have, because it's going to be like a snow week, and, I don't care what the films are, just give me the films. So this is just like a very poignant memory. And in this day and age, you can pretty much watch anything, anywhere on your phones. But just the sense of having something on a tape and watching it maybe added it more value, huh? I would really have liked to be an adult during those times. Of course, I was alive in 1987, but I was 3 years old. Anyways, then there's some news of earthquakes, and I'm just going to skim over these. I'm just going to go through my bookmarks. Binging before the internet, says Peppa Binia. Yes. Jipa Man says Keçi Hatun. Ellie Brooks says I love Goat Lady. Jipa Man says it is my duty to spread old Yugoslavian smut folk tales. Yes, do the good work. Look, the Americans, the English, the Australians, the British, the Australians, the Canadians, New Zealanders, these people are famished and starving for good stories. We, in the rest of the world, have the good stories. So you must be an exporter of culture. You can really go far. You can really go far with this shit. Wherever you're from, Philippines, Yugoslavia, Turkey, just give it to them. They need it. Ellie Brooks says, as an American, I can confirm I am starving, gagging for Yugoslavian smut folk tales. There you go. There you go, my friend, Jipa Man. Get in touch with Ellie Brooks in chat. And you already have one signed up listener. One day, the first child will be conceived by people who met through my community, and I will be very happy. Okay, so now we get to this incredible section. Okay, incredible section that lists all these folk sayings, atasözleri in Turkish. All these folk sayings about life in general. And they just have a list of incredible, they just have a list of alphabetized list of proverbs, basically. And these are just wonderful. For example, there's so many. And these all teach really nice parable-like lessons. About life. So one goes, aç olan kılıca sarılır, which means the hungry hand reaches for the sword. How poetic, but how true. When people are starving, you have violence. But the one I bookmark here, it is really telling, especially in these days of boomers versus millennials, and sorry Gen X is just crushed underfoot. Akrabanın akrabaya ettiğini akrep akrebe etmez. Which means the scorpion does not do unto another scorpion what relatives do to others. And this is so true, don't you think? I won't give any personal examples, but I know many cases in which the freaking grandfather dies and the entire extended family is at each other's throats. They're like freaking Game of Thrones on. And in this day and age, of course, you have the boomer generation who thinks they're immortal and entitled. And according to some statistics, something like 70% of all wealth, I'm saying all wealth, includes all money, all properties, all vehicles, all deeds, all stocks, all wealth is being held by these scorpions, these boomers, people born after 1945 and probably before 1970. Freaking scorpions. Gizema says, so true. I wasn't expecting that. Debased Gnome Child says, American folktales are always just real lives of criminals, and Pepabinia says, bastardized native folklore. I disagree. American folklore is actually great. If you go to this channel, there's a whole big ass video about Pennsylvanian folktales alone. Americans are really based people. Their current popular culture is one thing, but I would never go and diss American folktales. They're almost as deep and insightful as these Turkish proverbs we are reading. Blake Richardson says, hello, how are you today? I'm doing fine. Let's check some messages. I'm putting a spell on you. I'm putting a spell on you. Because you're mine. How many people watching? Okay, let's get some more proverbs. Adamak kolay, vermek zor. Dedication is easy, giving is hard. 23 people watching, great. Where's everybody from, by the way? Let's do our roll call. Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Tell me so we can all share. Aşığa Bağdat yakındır, which means to the lover, even Baghdad is nearby. And of course, Baghdad was a far-off province of the Ottoman Empire. So if you're in love, distances don't matter. All right. Oh, you motherfucker is from the US. Go US. First time chatter. Ann Razum is from Canada. Hello, my dear friend. Blake Richardson is from Michigan. Cezai ehliyetim yok is from Tokat. Gizemma is from Turkey. Ellie Brooks is from Pennsylvania, land of the squonk. Less irritating is from Ankara. Jipa Man is from Croatia. Debased Gnome Child is from New York. And Tauroid, first time chatter, hello my friend, is from southwestern UK. Man, if you're down there, please go and have sausage and mash for me. I really miss that pub food. Sausage and mash and fish and chips, but done the proper UK way. I really miss that. So yeah, the saying goes, Aşığa Bağdat yakındır. Oh, first time chatter. Itaha Freakans is from China. Hello, my dear friend. I think this is the first time someone checked in from China, so hello. Let me do a thumbs up for you. Does this work? There's meant to be an effect, but I don't know. Okay. So to the lover, even Baghdad is close. There's even a rude version of this. You can't find it in this book, but let me just say it. Which goes, Amcık meydandaysa yarrak Bağdat'tan gelir. Which means, look, I didn't make this. If the pussy is out in the open, the dick comes flying in from Baghdad. Flying in. Like a reverse Scud missile. Flying in from Baghdad. And I don't know, there was like lots of long distance relationships between Istanbul and Baghdad in those days. I don't know. But yeah, look where Baghdad is now. And many stuff. Alet işler el övünür. The tool works while the hand gloats. These are really cool based proverbs, don't you think? Al gömlek gizlenmez, which means you can't hide a red shirt. And this in turn means if you have some expensive, good property, you can't hide it, people will know. Yeah. So many, many more. Like let's look at letter B. Bir iş bin laftan evladır, which means one deed is better than 1,000 words. Again, very based. Bin işçiye bir başçı. For every 1,000 workers, you must have one administrator. And this is maybe an adage against inflation in mid-level management. Ben çekeyim cefayı, eller sürsün sefayı. This is a complaint. It says, oh, I shoulder all the work and others enjoy all its slave fruits. Maybe a critique of exploitation, let us say. Cahile söz anlatmak, deveye hendek atlatmaktan güçtür. Which means, to teach one word to a fool, a goddamn fool, is easier than making a camel jump over a moat. So yeah. These are so good. Bir çiçekle yaz olmaz. One flower does not make a spring. Yeah, literally just billionaires on the previous one. Yeah. Dilenciye hıyar vermişler, eğri diye beğenmemiş. Which means give a beggar a bent cucumber and he will complain it's not straight. Once again, like it really shows you, tells you certain things about certain kinds of people out there. And these people are apparently universal in every society. And like the parable of the beggar and the bent cucumber, I think it applies all over the world. Blake Richardson says, I made some more Snayat fan art. Great, send it to me, but today we have a historic reading. I may get to display it in later parts of the stream. Dün yumurtadan çıktı, bugün kabuğunu beğenmez. Look, also, I'll give you a tip. How does Turkish sound like to you foreign listeners? Please describe. How does Turkish sound like? And if you've heard other Turkish people speak, how does it compare to mine? Because I try to like talk in a more, let's say, a more dignified manner in this house. If you listen to other streamers like Hasan Abi speak in Turkish, as an American, his English is impeccable. And he's like, oh, dropping all the accents and like expressions. Once the guy switches back to Turkish, it's like fast stuttering from the tip of the mouth. You talk from the back of your mouth like a commanding person, you know? Cream Pie says Turkish sounds badass. Thank you. This is a point I'm trying to also like get across to all my Turkish friends, especially young ones. You guys talk too fast. You retort to expressions or insults too much. You should speak like, I don't know, one of those imperial characters from the movie Dune or something. Every syllable must carry a weight. İyi geceler. Yok. Hadi ben ışıkları kapatacağım. Çok söyleme arsız olur. Parasız koyma hırsız olur. Pronounce every word, but this one means don't praise someone too much, they become arrogant. But also, don't let them go without money or they become a thief. How to raise a child. Ellie Brooks says, I feel like I can identify what you're saying more than other people I have spoken to. Thank you. This is great. This one here. Çobanın gönlü olunca tekeden süt çıkarır, which means if a shepherd puts his mind through it, he can draw milk from a male goat. And that milk was Albert Einstein. Sounds sticky, yes. So let's get a move on. Look, we're only like 40 pages in and it's already been an hour. Peppa Binia says, beautiful. Gönül bir sırça saraydır, kırılırsa yapılmaz, which means the heart is a crystal palace. Once broken, it cannot be put back together. Such a good description for love. It's a crystal palace, but if it's broken, good luck fixing that. This is also like so real and so based. Fena haber çabuk duyulur, which means dark news spread fast. Isn't that true about people? If something bad happens to you, everybody likes talking about it. Debased Gnome Child says, believe in male milk. This is incredible. I actually bookmarked this one here. İnsanın alacası içinde, hayvanınki dışında. Which means beasts wear their color on the outside. People have their color on the inside. So true. Like you look at nature, all these animals, all these colors, horns and shit. But people's characters are just as variable as animals. Like the whole world of animals, you know. There are people who act like snakes, people who act like dogs, people who act like shit, people who act like male goats, people who act like spiders and shit. But it's all worn on the inside. Very, very based. Horoz öttü, dava bitti. This is a tough one to explain. If the cock crows, the fight is over. And it means, I guess, like these people were proverbially speaking over this cock, the bird. And once it sings, which means once it dies, the fight is over. Jipaman says, my language borrowed quite a few Turkish words. Yes, it was due to nearly 4 centuries of Turkish domination in that part of the world. These are so fun. İt iti bulur. A dog seeks out another dog, which means an asshole will find another asshole like himself or herself, wherever they are. These are so telling about people, so telling. I'm just going to skip to the bookmarked sections because we'll be here all night and all day, which is great, but many here. Yananla yenene bir şey dayanmaz. This is also like very, it must be like carved onto, well, the foreheads of every boomer out there. Yananla yenene bir şey dayanmaz, which means nothing can resist that which burns and that which can be eaten, which in turn means fungible things, like people just finish off fungible things, you know. Like yanan, the burning thing, it means firewood or like fuel or coal, whatever. Like if something is fungible, like money, it's meant to be spent, then people go through it all. People don't save those things, and it's very nice. And this is one that's very very particular to Istanbul, marked here, which means Zeyrek'ten başka yokuş, serçeden başka kuş bilmez, which alludes to a person who has very fixed ways of doing things, and he or she cannot change their mind easily. And if you're talking about that sort of a person, you tell that he or she only knows the slopes of Zeyrek and only thinks the sparrow is a bird because it's a fixed mind. Very nice. Which is so cool. Soydur çeker, boktur kokar, which is a person's pedigree shows as clearly as shit smells. You might maybe think this to be a little limited in scope, but it's basically, it's not totally untrue, let me say that. Oh, there's so many. Şahin sinek avlamaz, hawks do not hunt flies. These are a bit haughty too sometimes. Şeytan ile ortak eken buğdayın samanını alır. Which means if you plant a field in partnership with Shaitan, the devil, you only get the shaft of the wheat. So, be careful who you go into business with. Less irritating says, the rhyme is also important here. Blake Richardson says, I like this writing. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, now we move from proverbs to wishes and basically these special phrases you say to people. Like if somebody has wronged you, if you want their whole life to be destroyed, you say ocağına incir dikilsin, which means may fig trees overgrow your house and your hearth. Hearth as in the place where you have the fire going. Kulağına kurşun aksın, which means may molten lead flow into their ears. These are bad. These are basically historic Turkish shade phrases. Paramparça olsun, may he or she be torn apart. Sabaha çıkmasın, may they not see the morning. Oh God, if someone wrongs you, you can just throw these at them. Başı yastık görmesin. This is really dark. May his head never know the comfort of a pillow. Başı yastık görmesin. Curses, yeah. Allah gençliğine doyurmasın. May God never let him enjoy his youth. Dark, huh? Imagine. May you never enjoy your youth. And then you got positive phrases. İki cihanda aziz ol, which means may you be a saint in this life and the one after. Yolun açık olsun, may your road be open. Yeah, but the curses are more interesting. May both of their eyes come out, may their hand be broken, may your neck fall down. May he fall on sick beds without raising. I mean, based. So, then we have this section on yanıltmacalar, which means tongue twisters. Okay, let me try to read one, and then let me try to translate it. Well, this is all about foxes and hedgehogs. So it's like fucking Sonic 2 here. You got foxes, as in Tails the fox, or Miles, as Americans know it. And then you got hedgehogs, like fucking Sonic. Gotta go fast. So you want the fox first or the hedgehog first? Let me know. A historic Ottoman Sonic the Hedgehog tongue twister. Foxes or hedgehogs? Ellie Brooks says foxes. Okay, everybody wants foxes. Okay, oh. Nature lover says hedgehog. Okay, I'll go with hedgehogs first. Erkek kel kör kirpi, dişi kel kör kirpiye demiş ki sen benim tarlama girme. Dişi kel kör kirpi, erkek kel kör kirpiye demiş ki sen de benim tarlama girme. Erkek kel kör kirpi ile dişi kel kör kirpi arasında kavga çıkmış. Erkek kel kör kirpi ile dişi kel kör kirpiyi öldürmüş. Erkek, so much erkek. So this is tough to explain. So there was a male, bald, blind hedgehog, erkek, and the female, blind, bald hedgehog. I don't know why. And they had a fight, and both of them, they were blind. They thought they were getting in each other's fields, and they fought, and then the male killed the female, I guess. I don't remember Sonic the Hedgehog and Amy ending up like this, but I guess this is a fan fiction. Freaking dark, this one. Okay, then there's another one. Kürkü yırtık kel kör erkek tilkinin kürkünü, kürkü yırtık kel kör dişi tilkinin kürküne eklemişler. So the fur of the blind, torn-skinned male fox was added to the fur of the blind, torn-skinned female fox. Like one was used to patch the other. Oh, first-time chatter, Kare Fiskroff says, erkekler everywhere. As David Bowie says, boys, din din din din, the boys keep swinging, boys always work it out. Okay, this is nice. Okay, then we got lots of riddles. So you want human body parts or nature? Tell me one, and I will ask you Ottoman riddles about, well, there's lots like nature, Peppa Binia says. Human body parts, either or. Human body parts. Okay. Kara Fiskroff says human body parts. Okay, guess what this is? Marble up above, marble down below, and in between them, a slippery lady dances. What am I? Marble up above, marble down below, and a slippery vixen dancing in between. Jipaman says penis. No, I'm afraid not. Oh, you motherfucker says, mouth. Yes. Marble up above, upper teeth. Marble down below, lower teeth. And in between them, a dancing vixen. What a nice description. God damn. I mean, look. Whew. You know? And even the pronunciation, like when describing the tongue, it says, İçinde bir dilber oynar. Dilber is the name, and it alludes to a kind of sexy lady. What about this? Stuck to your head, 2 spoons without shafts. What are we? Stuck to your head, 2 spoons without shafts. Ears, yes, you're right. Başa yapışık 2 sapsız kaşık. How nice. God damn, by the way, I hope all you English first language speakers, you probably realize there is no superior language for dirty talking. Okay, what about more body parts then? This is amazing. This is amazing. Okay, are you ready? A door knocker with 7 holes. He who does not know is a fool. What am I? Once again, a door knocker with 7 holes. If you don't know this, you're a goddamn fool. Are you fools? What is it? Name me. Person, no. Kyra Fiskrov says La Cabeza, which I need to translate this. What the hell? Oh yeah, it means, yeah, you got it right. The head, yes. 7 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. But the way that this is 7 delikli bir tokmak, bunu bilmeyen ahmak. Ahmak means fool. Tokmak means door knocker. Not a nice rhyme. Okay, then some nature stuff. What are these? Jipa Man says, you guys in Turkey headbutt doors to knock? I don't know. But headbutts are common moves in street fights here. I mean, look, Turkish people are squat, heavily muscled, thick neck usually. I'm an outlier. Okay, some more nature stuff then. We were us, we were together, we were hundreds of thousands of girls. At night we go out, and when the day rose, we were erased. What are we? Once again, we were hundreds of thousands of sisters. At night we came out, and when the day was born, we were erased. Stars, yeah. This is actually pretty simple, but the way it's written and the rhymes, you can almost see the stars in the way this thing is pronounced. Biz idik, 100 binlerce kız idik. Gece oldu dizildik, gün doğunca silindik. How nice. There's many more. Then there's like, okay, riddles about animals. I am an oiled belt which slips underground. What am I? I am an oiled belt that slips underground. Yer altında yağlı kayış. Snake, yes. Ellie Brooks. Ellie Brooks is getting it right. I wish we could do a trivia game interface here on Discord or on Twitch. Snake or worm? Yeah, you got that right. How about this one? Kozeman Riddle Game Show, yeah. All right. You got riddles about fruit. There's so many. I'm looking for interesting ones now. There's riddles about household tools. Okay, get this. It's a household object. We have a crazy girl. Whoever comes kisses her, whoever goes kisses her. What is this thing? What is this crazy girl? Everyone's coming and going, kissing her. What is this thing? Bir kızım var, gelen öper, giden öper. God damn, like the sense of eroticism in this culture. Whew. Toilet bowl? No. Cup, Peppa Binia says. True, yeah, it's a cup, drinking cup. The Blarney Stone, no. Ellie Brooks commented something, but it got deleted because of the stream chat. Can you repeat that again? Yeah. I don't know why they thought a cup was a girl, because the Turkish language is not gendered. But yeah. Okay, I got it. Well, I don't know. It's Ellie Brooks is trying to comment, but the AI is being a freaking prude. Just write something else and I'll read it. I can't see it. So more riddles. How about this? And this is a food item, let us say. A dry skull, put it on the shelf. Sweeter than sugar, its face like a monkey. What am I? Bir kuru kafa, al da koy rafa, şekerden tatlı, maymun suratlı. What am I? Once again, a dry skull, sweeter than sugar, with the face of a monkey. What is this thing? I guess nobody knows. Well, somebody look at how many people are watching, if possible, then. Blake Richardson got it correct. Coconut. It was a coconut, yes. A dried skull with the face of a monkey. Sweeter than sugar, coconut. 20 people watching. How do you like this format? I didn't do many drawings here, but I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, I'm certainly having a time of my life. I think the riddle about teeth and the tongue was the best. The tongue was a girl. I think it's great, says everybody. Peppa Binia says, meow. Jipa Man says, I love it. Jipa Man says, honestly, I prefer it to drawings. Yeah, we could do more stuff like this. Then we come to the section about lullabies. These are like, I'll just read one of them. These are like songs you sing to a baby to like lull them to sleep. And like just this wealth of culture. It doesn't have to be Turkish in particular, but look how much was lost with the advent of modernity. Like, I'm not gonna decry it, but it's just weird and sad. Karga da seni tutarım aman, kanadını yolarım aman, yelpazeler yaparım aman, kışın mangal yakarım aman, ısıtır yavruma bakarım. Is a lullaby. So it says, Crow, I will catch you. I will tear your wing apart. With your wing I will make a fan, and with the fan I will fan the flames to keep my baby warm in bed. Dark. So the moral of the story is don't be a crow against Ottoman yummy mummies. Dandini dandini dan ister, babasından don ister, değme donu beğenmez, ipekten olsun ister. This one goes, dandini dandini, dan the baby wants. The baby wants from his or her daddy underwear, but the baby doesn't like coarse cotton underwear. It wants it to be made out of silk. What a needy baby. God damn. So yeah, these are like lullabies. And then there are these like other poems, which basically are like little, very little poems about love and longing and stuff. And some of them are really romantic. You want the one about the moon? Okay, I'll just read them. Ay doğar ağaçlara, şavkı vurur taşlara. Ben yarimi sorarım gökte uçan kuşlara. Which means the moon rises on the trees, its light gleams on the rocks. Remember, this is the age before industrial lightning, so moonlight was a real power. And then I ask of my love to the birds flying upon the sky. This reminds me of that bit in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, starring Harrison Ford and what's the other guy's name? You know, Indiana Jones' dad. Sean Connery. And yeah, so remember the scene in The Last Crusade when they're about to be ambushed by an airplane and they only have an umbrella, and Indiana Jones' dad goes choo choo choo choo choo and scares away some birds, and the birds hit the plane and it crashes and they're saved. And then Sean Connery's character makes up this made-up poem. It shows that how he's like educated and smart and a fighter too, much like Indy. And he says, I just remembered my Charlemagne. May my armies be the stones and the birds in the sky. Of course, Charlemagne did not write any poetry that we know of. He was illiterate, actually. But that bit in the movie it really stuck with me. And this one really sounds like that. I ask of my beloved to the birds upon the skies. And these go on and on. This is really dark. It's the lament of a guy who's been cocked and tabak içinde lüle, bayıldım güle güle. İşittim yar evlenmiş, otursun güle güle. Oh God, this is sad. So, a sweet dessert in a silver cup. I enjoyed it with laughter and relish. Bayıldım güle güle. İşittim yar evlenmiş, otursun güle güle. I heard my lover got married and I only wish the best for her, something like this. So it's like hiding his pain with desserts and stuff. Gandalf the Green says, hello friend, hello my dear friend. There are also these like little poems where like, mostly these are about love and mostly these are written from the perspective of a male suffering for it. En tarisi toz pembe, yadigarın var bende. Hiç sözünde durmazsın, insaf yok mu hi sende? This is like, so your shawl is a dusty pink and I have your keepsake from it. So the girls like gave parts of her underwear or something, linen to this guy. Have you no mercy? The poem goes. You never keep your word. Oof! Step through the heart, and you're to blame. You give love a bad name. God damn. En tarisi toz pembe, yadigarın var bende. Hiç sözünde durmazsın. God damn. These Turkish baddies were really at it, huh? At least it created some good art. Heck, one could argue that's all ever it was, you know, always has been. This is one about like a girl next door kind of crush. İstanbul çarşısına gün doğar karşısına adam gönül verir mi kapı bir komşusuna. As the sun rises above Istanbul bazaar, would a man ever be as foolish to love his next door neighbor? Yikes. God damn, these people are hurting. Like, which one was your favorite so far among these love poems? Some of them are really dark. I mean, if you suffered, you know. Ellie Brooks says the Ottomans were mad horny. My favorite was the huffing the scarf guy. Yeah. I mean, he was left holding that scarf, stress eating dessert, and there's many, I mean, there's pages of these things. I relate to the stress eating dessert too, horny Ottoman. Well, I mean, like, I bet, like, if someone really did, like, a proper translation and synthesis of these things, it could inspire generations of songwriters, male, female, Turkish, American, or beyond. I mean, there's, like, real wisdom contained here. Now this line here is about the lament of a guy who's like given up on it all. Gidiyorum Tiflis'e, bir daha gelmem size. Söylediğim türküler yadigar kalsın size. I am off to Tbilisi, which is like a far off place. It's in present day Georgia now. Bir daha gelmem size means I will never come back to you again. May my poems and songs be my only gift to you. So he's just fucking off. No one knows what it's like to be a bad man, to be a sad man. And I blame you, 'cause the hour comes aplenty. Life is vengeance. Don't ever change. I'm just being silly now because this is so fun. We're only 60 pages in from like a 200-page book. This is gold. And it's been an hour and a half. Blake Richardson says, do you listen to Cybreed? No, I don't know what that is. Okay, we got some S&M poems here. Oh, fuck. Wait, I need some... What was this? Just a second. Yeah, excuse me, the cat is screaming in the background. So the thing is, the cat has actually gone completely blind. Its eyes used to be this glassy green, now there's red showing in the edges. And it's just really, really dark. And at night she just screams on and on. I take the cat into my lap to sleep. She doesn't understand what's going on. She's really losing it. So it's sad. But let us look at this particular two verses here. About a woman who's referred to as the carnation. And you can tell that this carnation is like a bad, bad girl. So here goes. Karanfil oydu beni, bir güzel soydu beni. Soyduğunu aramam, ortada koydu beni. Karanfilim ez beni, tülbentlerden süz beni. Sen kalem ol ben divit, ak gerdana yaz beni. So now this is going to take some time to unpack. So this woman who's known as the Carnation has completely cored this guy. Like cored, oydu. Cored as you like take the core of an avocado out. It's completely hollowed him out. And this is just told in 3 words. Karanfilim oydu beni. 3 words, you're fucked. Bir güzel soydu beni. So beautifully she robbed me. Soyduğunu aramam, ortada koydu beni. I don't care for what she stole from me, but she hurt me by putting me out in the open. Ortada koydu beni. So then it's oh my carnation, please crush me, he says. Sieve me through. Filter me as if I was water through linen. May you be my pencil and may I be your ink. Write my name onto your pale, pale neckline. Ak gerdan. Like this is off. I mean, Is anyone actually aroused like I am here? Or am I the only sicko getting these feelings? Ellie Brooks says, I need to learn Turkish just for the Ottoman poetry. Yeah, so this bad girl took all his money, a tale as old as time, took all his money and left him high and dry. And he still wants to be crushed by her. He wants to be filtered by her. And he wants to be the ink to her pencil. And your name here, Steve, or I don't know, whatever this guy's name is. Ellie Brooks says, steamy. Debased Gnome Child says, that's steamy. Okay. There's all loads of stuff about moonrise and the coming of spring. Oof. Evil sugar baby, says Papa Binia. Well, look, these things you could see coming a mile away, you know. Just enjoy the good memories. There's this one about this one guy getting worked up about a single mole. A mole as in like the thing on the skin. Ah felek çok mu gördün? Nazlı yare bir beni mecnun ediyor gerdanında bir beni. So ben means mole, as in the mole on your skin. It also means me, I. It's the sound is the same. So it's a play on that. It means, oh fate, do you think it too much to match me with my beloved? I become a devotee to a single mole on her chest. There's many, many more. I mean, there are also like these strange, warlike and bloody love poems. Whose daughter is it up ahead? Bu giden kimin kızı? Entarisi kırmızı. Yanakları gül açmış. Sandım seher yıldızı. Are you ready? Translation. Whose daughter is it over there? Literally, that whole T-H-O-T, over there. Wearing all the red, wearing her red shawl, her cheeks blossoming as if they were Venus. Oy. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff like this. Some bloodier love poems too. I'll just have one bloody. This is bizarre and dark. Güvercin bıçakladım, kanadın saçakladım, yari koynumda sandım, yastığı kucakladım. This is the weirdest and darkest of them all. It says, I stabbed a pigeon, I saved its wing for you, I thought my lover was near my chest, I embraced the pillows. So my man like stabs a bird, gets the wing. I don't know. Maybe that may even be a euphemism for masturbation. Maybe. Stabbed a pigeon and then starts like humping his body pillow because he thinks she's there. But I don't know where she is. Okay, so it goes on and on like this. it does get repetitive. And here we have this illustration of a itinerant poet. So these guys used to like walk around from cafe to cafe or town to town. Peppa Binia says, damn, who hasn't stabbed their pigeon? Yeah, I mean, it may be a euphemism that whose meaning is lost to us. I kind of like flicking the bean or something. The pillow mention makes me agree it's got to be an aggressive euphemism. 10 out of 10, yes. And look, we just read like maybe 10 or 12 poems out of hundreds. Here's another one. Oh, what was dut? New phrase to use on friends. Yes, stab your pigeon. In English, we choke chickens, so why not? Yeah. Wait, let's look at translations. I need to translate something. Okay. So are you ready for a poem which I can only describe as mulberry fuck? Are you ready? Dut ağacı parmaktır, dutu parmak parmaktır. Bu dünyanın safası bir güzeli sarmaktır. So, the mulberry tree is like fingers. Its fruit like fingers upon fingers. The joy of this mortal world is to embrace a beautiful partner. Dut ağacı parmaktır, dutu parmak parmaktır. Şu dünyanın safası bir güzeli sarmaktır. So it's like mulberry trees, fingers, and like the only joy in the world is like, this guy was worked up. Okay. So that's that for steamy love poems. Now let's move on to, there's this section about folk tales, traveling poets. So traveling poets also had like longer poems, you know. This guy was on the same stuff as Timothy Chalamet in Call Me By Your Name with the peach. I don't know about that, but it's possible. I mean, look, even to this day and age, people use a peach emoji to refer to, butts. So the connection between fruits and sexuality is a very old one. So now these traveling poets, like this guy also had longer poems called Semai, but these are very long and also they're like laced with a lot of Persian words. So even for me, making sense of them is difficult. And they have more righteous themes, so they're not as fun to read, but I mean, this one goes, Şemi hüsnün narına pervaneyim ben, sen nesin? Tari zülfün bendine divaneyim ben, sen nesin? Cami aşkı evvela piri mugandan nüş edip, desti sakiden kanan mestaneyim ben, sen nesin? Like a lot of the words here, I cannot actually understand. I need a dictionary to work this. But it means sen nesin, like what are you, what are you, what are you, constantly referring to Probably a girl he's in love with again. Vücudu Adem'den el dini cana, Levain. Oh, these are like high poetry. Some of these. There's a simpler one here. About the death of a young man in a fight, and it goes on for like pages. His enemies ambush him and kill him. It's interesting, but it's like a folk epic. Okay, then we come to the bit about health and beliefs about sickness and stuff, but my throat is a bit parched from reading all these cool, sexy poems to you. So why don't you now take the time to ask me questions about what you read. Ask me questions about what we read. Ask me questions about what we read. I'll come back with some tea and we'll continue our discussion into the night. Almost 2 hours now. Let me check some messages. Blake Richardson sent an amazing picture. Okay. Squid Lord. Oh, yeah. Thanks for raising your Patreon membership. Okay, ask me questions. I will answer them when I get back. And enjoy these little drawings while you're at it. But like this format, I really love it. I'm like having fun. I'm having so much fun. Next week, we'll do an art stream again, but this is a whole other like... Say hello to people, Skadrina. Oy, Obin. Obin, yes. Huh. She's restless. She used to purr. She's not in pain though. She eats drinks. Look at her eyes. She's very angry. Now she will bite me in a bit. Huh. Say hello to peoples. Hello to peoples, Kadrina. Say hello to Kadrina, everybody. Obin! Obin! We're going Obin mode now. Wait. Are you ready? Huh? This is the format that all cats need to be displayed in. Please screenshot this and share it with me. Obin! Hi. Everybody says hello, Kadrina. Hello, people's Kadrina. Look at her eyes, just so blank. She's gonna bite me in the chin now. Huh. Imbecile, huh? Oy. Debased Gnome Child says, oh. Ellie Brooks says, hello, Kadrina. Blake Richardson says, hello, Kadrina. Peppa Binia says, hello, Kadrina. Blake Richardson took some screenshots. Lovely. I know. I know. Huh. Nature Lover says, do you have a piece of literature you wish you wrote? Oy, o bean. Maybe Star Maker by Olaf Staplidon. I mean, sci-fi literature, but it's literature nevertheless. The older I get, the deeper I appreciate like classic literature, you know, like Shakespeare. I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation. Cowshare, Canterbury Tales. Peppa Binia says, what kind of themes and techniques do you like in poetry? I like it when a poet makes full use of the language, because with each language there are different tricks you can play with poetry. And synonyms, alliteration. I don't know, you just tell it. I strongly dislike free verse though. I strongly dislike it. And I think, you know, the kind of poems that appear in the New Yorker magazine and stuff, it can just get fucked, you know. I mean, they're just bland, self-centered, ugly, rhymeless, saltless. Yeah, free verse poetry can be destroyed. And its proponents, well, I'll tell you later. Ah, you even got the cat mad. She's so angry. Oh. Huh. Allah. Huh. Okay, I'm just gonna put her down. Not put her down. Obsessed Gnome's Child says her whiskers are too long. Yeah. I'm just gonna put some tea. I'll be right back. Please support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. If you're supporting me for $1, ratchet it up to $5. You get to see extra content. God damn, I feel sleepy all of a sudden. Let me get some tea and we'll get back at this. I mean, we'll probably do a second stream about this book because it's just incredible. And it's a primary source. That is to say, it's not somebody's analysis or somebody's commentary on it. It's just the thing right there. And reading reference books like this is always a great thing. I'll be right back. Yeah. almost there. Welcome back, everybody, to Peppa Binia says, I'm about to be devoured by the cat for liking's free worst. Am I? Okay, look, I may have gone too hard, but it's just this kind of. I'll show you. I'll show you. New Yorker poems, okay? Okay, the New Yorker poems. I'm just gonna share a screenshot with you. Get that. I'm just gonna take a screenshot of one of these poems from the New Yorker. And we're just gonna look at it together. I mean, you at least let me articulate my objections. Insert an image. Okay. Browse. Desktop. Can you see this? This is a poem that was published recently in the New Yorker magazine. It began as an almost inaudible hum, low and long for the solar winds and far dim galaxies. A hymn growing louder for the moon and the sun, a song without words for the snow falling, for snow conceiving. Oh, for fuck's sake, god damn it. And this is one of the better ones. Conceiving rain, the rivers rushing without shame. Wow, you made rain rhyme with shame. The hum turning again higher into a riff of ridges, peaks hard as consonants, summits and praise for the rocky faults and crust and crevices, then down to the roots and rocks and burrows, the lake's skittery surfaces. Like some human being worked and like worried and like cared for this shit. I bet they were like taking their little fucked up no. What is this? This is lacking in grace. This is saltless. Ellie Brooks says she likes it. I don't know, maybe I'm colorblind to some amazing flavor that you all can discern. Let's read it for credit where credit's due. Waves, the salt deep, the warm bodies moving within it. The cold deep, the deep underneath. How many deeps? The cold deep, the deep underneath gleaming. Some of us rising as the planet turned into dawn, some lying down. You're making down maybe rhyme with dawn. As it turned into dark, as each of us rested, another woke, standing among the cast of cartons and automobiles. We left the factories and stood in the parking lots. It's a little strange, that's an understatement. It's It's self-absorbed and colorblind to its own drabness. Only a writer for the New Yorker can be. Left the subways and stood on Of course it has to be subways because you live in the fucking city, don't you? And stood on sidewalks in the bright offices, yes, because you work in an office. That's the only way life can be. In the cluttered yard, in the farmed fields, in the mud of the shanty towns. Borderline exoticism borderlining on racism. Breaking into harmonies we'd not known possible. Finding the chords as we found our true place, singing in a million keys, the human hymn of praise for every what something else there is and ever was and will be, the song growing louder and rising. Listen to, I believed it was a dream. So maybe this contains allusions to Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. So I will diss the shit out of this poem, but in its style, not in its substance. Let that be a caveat. The last 3 lines are insufferable. Yeah, this is insufferable. This issue, as with a lot of art, is trying for mass appeal. Keep in mind the average American has a 4th grade reading level. The 4th graders will write better poetry than this. I kid you not. I mean, the level of self-involvement and just the lack of beauty. So I think, personally, I think the measure of a good poem is an artifact that's like verbally or even vocally graceful, and then if it also like has a human story to tell, then it's a good one. Ellie Brooks says, I think I enjoyed the imagery of the first half. Okay, yeah, maybe, yeah. So it starts like some sort of nature eulogy, perhaps inspired by the last chapter of Cormac McCarthy's The Road, ridges, rivers, things flowing deep within time and stuff. And then it becomes some sort of urban mess. Everybody rests and there's sidewalks and offices and stuff, and maybe it was a dream, what the fuck. I mean, you have to agree, at least you could like, this could be worked on, you know, in the very least. Blake Richardson says, even I can write better poetry. This, my man, like, I have no doubt. Ellie digs the first. Okay, I'll grant you that, okay. As another Turkish saying goes, zevkler ve renkler tartışılmaz, which means you cannot debate colors and personal choice. Yeah, but also this was in the New Yorker. Supposedly the highest expression of American culture there is. I don't know, man. I don't know, it's just the way I am. Okay, going back at our Turkish reader. Oh wait, let me switch off the dishwasher. I am really craving for some of that popcorn that comes with that sweet peanut flavoring. Okay, so Ellie Brooks says, The New Yorker is a cesspool of inane bullshit. I'll agree there, but I'll support free verse and cadence writing. Okay, handshake, agreed. And I'm very, very sorry if I was too hard on free verse writing, okay? I mean, you're a valued online friend, and I guess I should not have been that harsh, maybe. I don't know. So, it's almost 2 hours, and then we reach a big section on folklore medicine. And this is just incredible. Like pages and pages of folk remedies and healthcare beliefs from centuries and holy sites and stuff. So we got a lot of ground to cover. I'm just looking for a nice cutoff point because I'm pretty tired. But yeah. So let's look at traditional Turkish folk beliefs on health and medicine. There are a lot of sayings. So this is a big paragraph about how disease and health is perceived philosophically. According to Turkish beliefs, it says, life and health are privileges bestowed by God upon the living. So there are a lot of expressions about thankfulness and gratitude for being healthy. When people have a child, they say Allah bağışlasın, which means may God grant him or her to you. So it's that kind of like top down, God's in his heaven, everything is all right with the world kind of view. And it kind of makes sense because, well, to this day, nobody's immortal and everybody's scared of illness. And this was an age unsullied by scientific medicine, let us say. So people were wary of invisible factors such as angels, jinns, fairies, ancestors, dead people, tombs, and holy sites. They were as wary of these as much as they were wary of germs. And surprisingly, they did not deny the existence of germs for a long time. So anyways, then here are a few remedies in Istanbul to avoid getting sick. So this is what you're gonna do. If you don't want to fall ill, here's what you do. 1, do not sweat. 2, do not grow cold. If there are still any Turkish viewers holding on among the audience, you probably know some of these. Mediterranean people in general have this terrible aversion to getting cold. Like you have to be swaddled, you have to protect your face and body against cold weather and cold breezes. And yeah, so do not sweat, do not get cold, avoid excessive heat, clean yourself a lot. They have this belief in miasma theory, and so you're gonna have to stay away from places where the air is bad, and do not contact people who are sick too much. Blake Richardson says, I have to go for a bit. Good night. Jokes on you all. I can be sweaty and cold. Whoa. Okay. Okay, so the beauty of this is like in the same paragraph, it says don't stay in the cold, don't stay in the same place as a sick person. You know, these are sensible practices. But then live regularly, rest as much as you can, change the atmosphere when you're feeling down or sick. Do not jump over filthy waters or dirty rivers or streams, because if you do so, you will be stricken by the evil spirits that read there. What is me says, hello, Mr. Köseman. Hello, my dear watcher. So yeah, once again, you must avoid jumping over weird streams or dark creeks or something, because if you do, you will certainly be assaulted by the jinns and fairies that live there. Do not be rude against tombs and cemeteries. Do not throw waste out on the street at night. If you have to do, you must yell destur. You must take regular sea baths, and you must carry prayer books on you at all times. So this is the holistic Turkish approach to medicine. Some sensible, some mystifying. And you can see here that a lot of these beliefs are actually very old and archaic, and they are survivals from an earlier age. And then if somebody falls sick, the entire neighborhood takes turns to take care of them. And then there's a lot of like information about small illnesses and major illnesses, and these are a bit dark, so I'm kind of skipping them. The obvious answer, Gnome's child says, is to simply wade through dirty water. Okay, so in addition to feeding well, there are also these rituals you can do to basically keep in good health. And some of these rituals, although this is a very old book about even older stuff, some of these rituals are still being practiced in the very day. So one of them is pouring lead. So in order to basically keep your chakras clean and like keep your karma clean, you have pieces of lead, maybe 250, 300 grams. You melt them, and then you cover the sick person's head with a shawl. And then this is always done with a practiced, seasoned female magician who also trained under a similar female magician. And what she does is you put a shawl over your head, she melts the lead, okay? And then you pour the molten lead into a cup of water above the person's head. So when that happens, it has like an explosion, and it's like steam everywhere. And then when she's doing it, the lead casting lady says, "This is not my hand, this is the hand of our mother, Aisha Fatma." So very, very mystical. And obviously this is a survival of a myth, like a survival of a ritual that's probably pagan in origin. And I would bet there were similar rituals around in times of Christianity and even earlier. Like, this is clearly a pagan survival. This is not my hand, but it's the hand of our mother, Aisha Fatma. And then you repeat the same procedure over the patient's feet. So you pour molten lead into a smaller cup, and then you make the patient drink from the water the lead has been poured into. You don't drink the lead itself, you just drink the water it splashed into, because it's molten metal. When it falls in the water, it like flash vaporizes and freezes. So that's that. And then the remaining water, you put some bread into it, and then you give it to dogs at a crossroad. Now, this is incredible because from what we know about pagan or even ancient Greek history, the goddess Hecate, Hecate was the goddess of crossroads, and dogs were involved in some of her rituals. And it's just incredible because it's also independent corroboration, because this book, written in 1947, it's just recording the rituals of Istanbul's people. And there's no mention of Hecate or anything. We know Hecate because we read about these other allusions to roads, crossroads, and dogs elsewhere. So you give the lead water to dogs at the crossroads. Incredible. I mean, I just feel so great. Many people like snub these beliefs and they say, oh, it's like they mistakenly think it's Islamic, where certainly it's far, far older and darker. It's probably the survival of a certain Hecate ritual. And then the magician lady studies the lead which froze in the water by your head and your feet. If it's in a blob, the magician will decree that it is the work of demons and jinns who have been really strongly offended, or somebody has really done a bad dark magic trick on you, basically. If you see a gleaming fragment among the blob of lead, it's a sign that the patient's heart is pure and they will heal quicker. And then you must always pay the magician lady in a manner that's both proportional to her and you. So if she's a very famous magician and she's very wealthy, you can just give as much as you can. But if you're a famous and if you are a rich person, then you mustn't be skimpy. And if you're a person with meager means, you just pay what you can. And it's one ritual like that. How many people watching so far? Just checking some messages. Mm. 16 people watching. Okay, then there's another ritual. This is the ritual of sherbet, the ritual of sweet waters. So much like the lead. By the way, do you have any similar rituals where you live? Especially if you live in the old world. I'm really curious to learn. There's another ritual in which if you can't find lead, you just find a flaming piece of wood and you extinguish it in a pan of water and say, this is not my hand, this is the hand of Our mother Aisha Fatma. Scary. And then, if the patient has a nervous disorder or a kind of psychiatric illness, there's this magic ritual called the sherbet ritual. Basically, you take some water laced with sugar, and then you basically prepare this like a pitcher of water with sugar dissolved in it. And once again, everybody blows on it and says some prayers. And then after midnight, when there's nobody in the streets, you take it to a crossroads again, much like Hecate. And as you are pouring the sugar water to the road junction, you call out to the spirits or secretly call out to Hecate, take my woes, give me my health. Here we are giving you the sugar water, so now you give us back our health. As you go back home, you must never turn back or the magic spell is broken. You must never turn back, because if you look back and cause quantum probability collapse, maybe that negates the healing effect. And then you must get home very quickly. Very quickly. It stresses here. This is dark shit. This would scare me. And then you never tell anyone what you did. No observers. When you do this thing, you are appeasing the jinns and fairies who live on the crossroads. And these jinns and fairies are always around. When you buy a new house, you must also do the same sugar water ritual under the stairs, in the cellar, in the rooftop, in the attic. And if you don't do this when you move into a new house, Istanbul families are scared that the spirits will strike you back at some point. So there. Debased Gnome's Child says magic and quantum physics are usually quite hard to distinguish anyways. Yes. Ellie Brooks says, science is just magic with an explanation. I mean, yeah, probably. I wonder if you got similar beliefs and folk beliefs in your part of the world. Please let me know. I mean, we had a friend who was from Croatia. I'm almost certain there are some very similar things up there too. So there's this other ritual about Jipaman says no such rituals in Croatia. Interesting. So there's this treatment of jaundice, in Turkish it's known as sarılık. Jaundice, Jaundice. So it involves a sort of bloodletting. And here's what you do. basically you take the patient and you draw out blood from between his eyes and on his forehead like so. With a dull knife, you just draw out one drop of blood, okay? But this must be done by a practiced and seasoned magician. Then you get a yellow cup, fill it with water, and then throw a pin, a clothespin into the water. And then you observe the pin inside the water in the cup. And once the pin turns as yellow as the cup itself, just a second. Oh, what was I saying? When the needle turns yellow, as yellow as the cup itself, you take the needle and you kind of put it or scratch it or like kind of stab it against the mark you made on the guy's head. So like you take it out and you put it in. So there, like you cut people's foreheads and then you do the needle and stuff. It's a bit convoluted, and apparently this is a kind of bloodletting that protects the patient from jaundice. Anyways, everybody, it's nearly been 2.5 hours, and suddenly, maybe it's after talking about all such magic shit, but I've been hit by a wave of sleep so train-like. So intense that I'm going to call it a night actually. I hope you enjoyed these 2.5 hours. We still have only begun the book, so we're going to go through it. There will be another episode. Folklore of Istanbul by Ahmet Halit Bayru. I think nobody living in Istanbul should ever be without one of these books. It's got just so much to teach. We looked at all the proverbs, at all the weird semi-erotic poetry. We looked at the story of the Sultan's lust for more personified and the secret grave of that creature. We looked at the cat. Oh, I'm just skirting through sleep now. This was great, but any last words? If you have them, let's hear them. Jippa Man says, I recently bought a book about magical practice in Croatia. Yeah, sounds very interesting. Ellie says, these Desire Weasel was my favorite. Thanks. Thank you so much. Means a lot. Any last words? Well, I hope you enjoyed the stream then. Once again, please consider to subscribe to this channel if you're just watching on YouTube now. Please subscribe, like, and click the fucking bell icon. Peppa Binia says, may seasonal allergies not afflict any of you. I'm cool, but I know what you mean. Keep kissing that cat, says Gnome's Child. Okay. Okay, any last words before I hang up? Last 2 minutes. My eyes keep like closing. I'm just gonna sleep like a baby tonight. Ellie Brooks says, go to bed. Okay, everybody. Good night and have a nice day. I hope with this stream I was able to show you just how reading first-hand material, how different it is from anything else. You really learn a lot, like it adds things to you. These are things that you never forget as long as you live. So that sort of reading is always really a life-enhancing procedure. And with that adieu, I'm just falling asleep. I love you all. Good night and have a nice day wherever you are. If you're watching on YouTube, once again, Patreon, Patreon, Patreon, or buy me a coffee. Goodbye for now.